Hi, it's Mrs. Hatfield with Healthy Bodies, Healthy Minds. Today we're going to be talking about the parts of the plant. Let's get started. Let's look at different parts of the plant. Just like people, plants have many different parts. We have legs, arms, and a head. Plants have roots. If you look all the way to the bottom of the picture, you'll notice the roots. Stems, the parts going from the roots all the way up to the top. Leaves, the parts going off of the stem. Flowers, which you'll see are those little yellow things towards the top of the picture. And fruit, that's the red part of our picture. Inside of the fruit would be our seeds. I'm going to go through some foods and see if you can think of which part of the plant they belong to. First up is going to be an onion. What part of the plant do you think an onion comes from? Remember, the parts of the plant are roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. Think about where an onion grows. I'll give you a little time to think about it. What do you think? How about root? If you guessed root, you were right. Let's find out some more information about roots. Roots act like straws, bringing water and nutrients from the soil. They also keep the plant stable. Carrots, beets, and radishes are other examples. They are called root vegetables because they grow underground. What part of the plant do you think artichokes come from? Remember, the parts of the plant are roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. If you haven't seen an artichoke before, what part of the plant does it look like? Do you have a guess? If you guessed flower, you were right. Let's find out some more information about flowers. Flowers are the reproductive part of the plant when the fruit grows. Cauliflower and broccoli are also flowers of the plant. What part of the plant do you think celery comes from? Remember, the parts of the plant are roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. Think about its shape. What part of the plant does it look like? If you guessed stem, you were right. Let's find out some more information about stems. Stems support the plant so it stands up tall, preventing it from falling. They provide a pathway for water to go from the roots to the leaves. Asparagus is also a stem. What part of the plant do you think spinach is from? Remember, the parts of the plant are roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. What does spinach look like? Does it look like a leaf? If you guessed that, you were right. Some more information on our leaves. When sunlight hits the leaves, the plant makes food for itself. It's called photosynthesis. Cabbage is also a leaf. What part of the plant do you think a cucumber comes from? Again, the parts of the plant are roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. This one's a little tricky because it's a little different from what we learned on my plate. For the parts of the plant, the cucumber would be considered a fruit. Let's find out some more information. For the parts of the plant, we consider the cucumber the fruit of the plant. The fruit of the plant is what the plant produces. Fruits also protect the seeds because the seeds are inside the fruit. For my plate, we would consider the cucumber a vegetable. Bell peppers would also be considered a fruit of the plant. What part of the plant do you think black beans come from? Again, those parts of the plant, roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. Any guess? It would be a seed. Let's find out some more information about seeds. Seeds contain the makings of a new plant. All the parts of the plant that we have talked about today come from seeds. Peas would also be considered seeds. Let's play a game of What Am I? I'm going to give you some clues about a food, and you are going to try and guess what that food is. Once you have guessed what it is, then we'll try and figure out what part of the plant the food comes from. Let's get started. Here we go with our first clue. Before I became a box of raisins, I was a bunch of... So before raisins, what was it? Do you have a guess? Remember, you can always pause the video and give yourself a little bit more time to think if I'm not giving you enough time, because I'm going to go through them a little bit quick. What do you think? Grapes. What part of the plant do you think grapes are? What part of the plant would they be? If you guessed fruit, you would be correct. Let's look at our next clue. Here's clue number 2. I have silk and ears. I must be cooked before you eat me. I am normally yellow, but can be found in all the colors of the rainbow. Cows and pigs love me. What am I? Do you have a guess? Corn. Have you ever had corn on the cob? What part of the plant do you think corn is? Think about those parts of the plant. And corn would be considered a seed. So they would be a seed of the plant. What's up next? Number 3. I'm a vegetable that is good for your eyesight. I grow under the ground. That's a big clue. Think about under the ground. I'm usually orange, but can be any other colors such as purple. What am I? Do you have a guess? A carrot. What part of the plant would a carrot be? Keep thinking, part of the plant. Where would the carrot grow? If you guessed root, you were correct. Let's go on to our next one. I am a leafy vegetable that can be green, purple, or red. I am heavy. You can eat me cooked or raw. What am I? This is a little bit of a tricky one. Any guess? How about cabbage? What part of the plant would cabbage be? Think about how it looks. If you guessed leaf, you would be correct. Number 5's clue. I look like a fuzzy little ball. You can eat my fruit insides with a spoon. I have lots of vitamin C. What am I? Little fuzzy ball. And you eat the inside. I think I know this one, do you? If you guessed kiwi, you would be correct. Now, what part of the plant would kiwi be? If you guessed fruit, you would be correct. Clue number 6. I am crunchy with lots of vitamin C and fiber. Some people think I look like a little tree. I think that little tree is going to be our biggest clue. Can you think of a vegetable that looks like a little tree? What am I? Broccoli. What part of the plant would broccoli be? Think about it. It would be a flower. Number 7. I grow under the ground. I can be white or purple. I have a very strong odor and smell. I am not an onion, but close. This is a very tricky one. Think hard. When you use me in recipes, most people do not eat me by myself. So think about cooking. It has a strong odor, but it's not an onion. Do you have a guess? It starts with a G. What am I? Garlic. Did you get that one right? That was tough. And what part of the plant do you think garlic would be? I'll give you a hint. It's the same as an onion. Hopefully that helps. It's a root. Now for clue number 8. I am a fruit. I do not grow in Michigan. I can be green or black. I am not sweet. You can put me on pizza. What do you think that is? Green or black on pizza? Might not be something you usually have in your pizza, but you've probably seen it on a pizza before or heard of it. What do you think it is? Olives. What part of the plant do you think olives would be? Fruit. Now for clue number 9. I am a sour vegetable. Most people cook me in cakes and pies like a fruit. I am red and green. You don't eat me raw, and you should really cook me first. What could I be? This is a little bit of a different one. Comes about in the spring. Any guess? How about rhubarb? Have you ever tasted rhubarb before? What part of the plant do you think rhubarb would be? Think about how it looks. Does it look kind of like celery? A little bit. Do you remember what celery was? It would be a stem. Now for our last clue. I am reddish, kind of a reddish purple color. I grow in a bush that has some pickers on it. I have many seeds. I can be eaten raw or made into jam or pie. I'm hollow in the middle, and I can be fuzzy. Any guesses? It's a pretty popular fruit. What do you think? Raspberries. I gave you a little hint on this one. What part of the plant would raspberries be? Fruit. Nice job. Hopefully you got that one. I hope you had fun learning about the parts of the plant and what foods fit into each part of the plant. As you're eating your fruits and vegetables, think about what part of the plant they would be. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. Hi, it's Mrs. Hatfield from Healthy Bodies, Healthy Minds. Today I'd like to do an activity with you called Healthy Favorites. Remember, when we're choosing our food, we want to make sure that we're getting a variety. So we're also getting a variety of nutrients. When we make healthy choices, those nutrients are giving us the things that help us to grow and also to have the energy that we need to work and also to play. A good way to get variety is to eat a lot of different fruits and vegetables. Let's think about strawberries for a minute. Strawberries are high in vitamin C that can help us to heal. So if we would get a cut, it could help to heal that wound. Today, the activity that I would like to do is again called Healthy Favorites. I'm going to ask you to stand up in just a little bit. When we do that, I'm also going to ask you to start marching. I'm going to name some fruits and vegetables. I'm also going to name a physical activity after I say that fruit or vegetable. If you like that fruit or vegetable, I'm going to ask you to change your march into that physical activity if you like that fruit or vegetable. If you don't like that fruit or vegetable, you're going to continue to march. So I'm going to ask you to find a little space around you so that you can start marching. I'm going to do the same, and let's get started with Healthy Favorites. If you're not marching already, go ahead and join me. I'm going to be naming fruits and vegetables in alternating order according to the rainbow colors. So my first fruit is an apple. If you like red apples, or if you would like to try them, we're going to take giant steps to the side. So we're going to take a big step to the side and back. If you don't like red apples, you can go ahead and stay marching in place. You should be moving the whole time. So again, if you like apples or you want to try them, you should be moving side to side. Next up, according to the rainbow, is orange. So I'm going to say orange bell pepper. If you like orange bell peppers or want to try them, go ahead and take a giant step forward and a giant step back. Giant step forward, giant step back. If not, you should be marching. Next up is yellow. Lemon is what I came up with. So if you like those sour lemons, go ahead and reach for the sky. If you don't, you should be marching in place. green beans are up next. If you like them or want to try them, go ahead and take baby steps forward and baby steps back. Baby steps forward, baby steps back. If not, keep marching. Ready for blue? For blue, we're going to use blueberries. So if you like them or want to try them, go ahead and skate, just like you're on the ice. If not, you're marching. Our last one, last color of the rainbow, we're going to use eggplant. So if you like eggplant or want to try it, we're going to reach side to side. If not, you're marching. I'm going to go back to marching. Please do the same. Thanks for joining me going through the rainbow colors and alternating our fruits and vegetables with different exercises. I hope you had fun and maybe you found something that you would like to try today. Again, thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Hi, it's Mrs. Hatfield with Healthy Bodies, Healthy Minds. I'd like to read a book with you today called Tops and Bottoms by Janet Stevens. It's about a bear and also a rabbit called Hare. Let's go ahead and turn to the first page and see what happens. Once upon a time, there lived a very lazy bear who had lots of money and lots of land. His father had been a hard worker and a smart business bear, and he had given all of his wealth to his son. But all Bear wanted to do was sleep. Not far down the road lived Hare. Although Hare was clever, he sometimes got into trouble. He had once owned land too, but now he had nothing. He had lost a risky bet with a tortoise and had sold all of his land to Bear to pay off the debt. Hare and his family were in very bad shape. "The children are so hungry, Father Hare. We must think of something," Mrs. Hare cried one day. So Hare and Mrs. Hare put their heads together and cooked up a plan. The next day, Hare hopped down the road to Bear's house. Bear, of course, was asleep. "Hello, Bear, wake up. It's your neighbor Hare, and I have an idea." Bear opened one eye and grunted. "We can be business partners," Hare said. "All we need is this field right here in front of your house. I'll do the hard work of planting and harvesting, and we can split the profit right down the middle. Yes, sir, Bear, we're in this together. I'll work and you sleep." "Huh?" said Bear. "So what will it be, Bear?" asked Hare. "The top half or the bottom half? It's up to you, tops or bottoms." Let's see," Bear said with a yawn. "I'll take the top half, Hare." "Right, tops." Hare smiled. "It's a done deal, Bear." So Bear went back to sleep, and Hare and his family went to work. Hare planted, Mrs. Hare watered, and everyone weeded. Bear slept as the crops grew. When it was time for the harvest, Hare called out, "Wake up, Bear! You get the tops and I get the bottoms." Hare and his family dug up the carrots, the radishes, and the beets. Hare plucked off all the tops, tossed them into a pile for Bear, and put the bottoms aside for himself. Bear stared at his pile. "But Hare, all the best parts are in your half." "You chose the tops, Bear," Hare said. "Now, Hare, you've tricked me. You plant this field again, and this season I want the bottoms." Hare agreed. "It's a done deal, Bear." So Bear went back to sleep, and Hare and his family went to work. They planted, watered, and weeded. Bear slept as the crops grew. When it was time for the harvest, Hare called out, "Wake up, Bear! You get the bottoms and I get the tops." Hare and his family gathered up the lettuce, the broccoli, and the celery. Hare pulled off the bottoms for Bear and put the tops in his own pile. Bear looked at his pile and scowled. "Hare, you have cheated me again." But Bear, Hare said, you wanted the bottoms this time. Bear growled, you plant this field again, Hare. You've tricked me twice, and you owe me one season of both tops and bottoms. You're right, poor old Bear, sighed Hare. It's only fair that you get both tops and bottoms this time. It's a done deal, Bear. So Bear went back to sleep, and Hare and his family went to work. They planted, watered, and weeded, then watered and weeded some more. Bear slept as the crops grew. When it was time for the harvest, Hare called out, wake up, Bear! This time you get the tops and the bottoms. There, in front of Bear's house, lay a high field of corn. Hare and his family yanked up every corn stalk. Hare tugged off the roots at the bottom and the tassels at the top and put them in a pile for Bear. Then he carefully collected the ears of corn in the middle and placed them in his own pile. Bear rubbed his eyes and watched. See, Bear, you get the tops and the bottoms. I get the middles. Yes, sir, Bear, it's a done deal. By now, Bear was wide awake. That's it, Hare, he hollered. From now on, I'll plant my own crops and take the tops, bottoms, and middles. Hare and his family scooped up the corn and hopped down the road toward home. Bear never again slept through a season of planting and harvesting. Hare bought back his land with the profit from the crops, and he and Mrs. Hare opened a vegetable stand. And although Hare and Bear learned to live happily as neighbors, they never became business partners again. And that is the end of our book, Tops and Bottoms. I hope you enjoyed it. Hi, it's Mrs. Hatfield with Healthy Bodies, Healthy Minds. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen today where we'll be making cucumber and chickpea salad. Let's take a look at some of the ingredients we'll need. We have a cucumber here. Makes sense since it's in the name of the recipe. I also am going to be using some tomato, onion, Italian dressing. I have garlic powder. We'll also be using a touch of salt and pepper. And then I also have my chickpeas here. So as we look at this can, you'll notice that it says chickpeas, but then on the other side, it also says garbanzos. So is it chickpeas or is it garbanzos? It's actually both because they're the same thing. So if you're looking for chickpeas in the grocery store, it might be called chickpeas or it could be called garbanzos too. Again, it's the same thing. Let me grab my bowls and the things that I need, and let's get started with our cucumber and chickpea salad recipe. Let's start off with cutting our onion. Here I'm cutting it in half. Then I'm going to make a little cut on the outside to get that outer layer off. Next up is cutting the bottom off. I'm going to lay it on its side, cut it in half, and then just start cutting it into pieces. You'll notice these pieces are pretty large. We'll need about a half a cup of onion for our recipe. So since they are pretty large, I'm going to take my larger knife and I'm going to start chopping it. So chopping it into smaller pieces. When you're making your recipe, you can decide how big or how little you would like those pieces. I like my onions cut into smaller pieces, so I'm going to chop here for a little bit to make them smaller. Next up, we'll be cutting up our cucumber. Our recipe calls for half a cucumber seeded and diced. So I've cut my cucumber in half and cut the ends off. Now I'm using a spoon to get all of the seeds out. We only need half of the cucumber, but I'm going to cut the whole thing so I can use the other half for another recipe. After turning them over, I'm going to cut strips into the cucumber just to make it a little bit easier for me to chop it into small pieces. So as you can see now I'm cutting those small pieces and we're getting half of our cucumber chopped and ready to put in a bowl for our recipe. We also need one tomato chopped. So I'm going to cut the ends off of each side. And then I like to cut it in half and then cut strips into it to make it a little bit easier for me to cut it.
Then I take the strips and cut the strips into strips, turn it sideways so I get nice small pieces. Again, I like smaller pieces in my recipes. If you like bigger ones, you can always cut them so that they're a little bit bigger too. So we've cut half of the tomato, and now we'll go on to the other half of the tomato. Again, cutting them in strips, and then cutting those strips into nice smaller pieces. After I have all of the tomato cut, I'm going to put that in the bowl with the onion and the cucumber.
So in our bowl, you can see I have our chopped onions, cucumbers, and tomatoes. Now I'm going to add the rest of our ingredients. We have our chickpeas or garbanzo beans. These will have liquid in them, so I rinse them and drain them. I'm going to add them right into the bowl. Next, I'm going to add salt. We need 1/4 tablespoon, so I'll put that on. I'm also going to add our garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon. And then also black pepper, which is 1/4 teaspoon too. On top of that, I'm going to add our Italian dressing, and we need 1/4 cup. Then I'm going to stir it up. It has such a fresh smell to it. I have had this recipe before and it's delicious. I hope that you get the chance to make it and to also enjoy it. So I'll keep stirring, get it all mixed up. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you enjoy the cucumber and chickpea salad.
If you would like to make this Michigan Harvest of the Month recipe, you can go to MIHOTM.recipes and search cucumber and chickpea salad.